My name's Naomi West and I'm the Global Head of Marketing Operations at Lloyd's Register. So I think maritime is setting a fantastic example actually to other industries. The nature of maritime is that it's global and that it's always on and it's always evolving, and you can't sort of stop maritime to implement new initiatives and then carry on. It needs to be working all the time. So I think if you look at other industries and their levels of complexity operationally, I think the notion that they can't work to find resolutions and routes forward isn't necessarily true. You know, if we can find a route forward in maritime and we can really collaborate and work together and drive policy together and ask all of those right challenging questions in a unified voice, I definitely think other industries can emulate that and to adopt some of those ways of working to solve their own challenges. The question that organisations should ask when it comes to net zero, either inside maritime or outside of maritime, is really, do they understand, have they assessed their sort of carbon output? Have they assessed their culture? Have they assessed their values? Do they want to be seen to be proactive, or do they want to be sort of driven by legislation? So I think the questions that organisations should ask themselves are sort of, do we know what the problems are within our organisation, and how can we empower people to drive that change and advocate for that change? I think the best way to take people on a journey of change is to be open and transparent about where the challenges are and to really understand them and communicate them, and then really give people a clear sense of what they can do to contribute positively to that. I think the other thing that you can do is empower people to question if they see something that could be improved or could be changed, because at an organisational level you may not have the detail of everything that's happening right across the board. So empowering your teams of people to be able to question and sort of implement new ways of working that support your objectives is really important. I think what's holding people back in terms of net zero across other organisations is perhaps a lack of guidance sometimes, unifying guidance as to what to do. And I think there is this sort of perceived sense that they're not doing enough. So almost a little bit of a reluctance to talk about what they are talking about, what they are doing within an organisation. So I think we need to overcome that, because ultimately sort of small progress is going to have a big cumulative impact. So we should be sort of celebrating the work that everybody's doing. And I think, like I said, sort of having those metrics to hold yourself account to will help eradicate some of that sort of cynicism, if you like. The best net zero advice that I can offer organisations is not to be overwhelmed by the size of the challenge and to break it down into smaller, more manageable parts. It's a very hot topic and people definitely don't want to misstep. There's a real sense that they don't want to publish results and be perceived to be not doing enough. But I do think you still need to go on a journey. So even those small organisational changes to educate people, things like saving energy within an office environment, they will have a big cumulative impact and a positive impact. So there is absolutely nothing wrong with sort of implementing those changes and standing by them and measuring them so that you can advocate for the work that you're doing. And really then going on a journey to look at more complicated or some of those larger scale, longer term initiatives that may really drive towards net zero. The need to inspire kind of more open and honest conversations around net zero comes from just talking about it. So again, you know, maritime's really good actually at collaborating, but I think if you had more into sort of industry collaboration and more opportunities for people to network and talk about it, they may feel more confident about openly sharing it and reaching some sort of common goals and realising that everybody's wanting and has this desire to get to net zero, and kind of sharing that industry best practice will only help us get there more quickly. Nobody's ever going to tell you, oh no, we absolutely don't want to talk about the wonderful work that we've been doing to reduce our emissions or work towards those net zero goals. I think empowering your teams and other people to do the same is a fantastic opportunity for organisations.